What if the cage is made of glass? Ooh! Wow! I don't hate that! Oh my gosh! It's gonna be a lot of color control and lighting to pull this off. I think I can do it, but yeah! Execution is everything. Hello, hello, hello there, my friends. Welcome, welcome to something a little different. These Draw With Me's, as far as I'm going to assume, will be released most likely after the speedpaint itself is out. So what you're about to see is basically my whole thought process and the figuring out phase of the cage, which you most likely have already seen. And I am terrified. I have no idea what we're about to create, but I'm real excited. I'm real excited. Basically, this first block, I wanted to just talk through my vision and my idea behind the cage. So this is going to be a rough and dirty, get our hands nice and coated in paint and just build this thing, because I have no idea. Now, granted, you might be looking at this and you're thinking, this is really busy. And you would be right. I would agree with you. This is perfectly fine. Simpler is usually less is more, but I had an idea that I wanted to explore. So why add to this? Why even bother? Well, here's my vision. I wanted Kris to be basically floating inside of a physical cage. And I was trying my best to wrap around the thought process of how to fuse a ribcage and a birdcage, literally the birdcage that is in their room, that sits in their room, that they throw the soul in, that houses it. I was consulting with ChatGPT. Yes, I use AI, mainly just to write scripts and tutorials. I do fact check and proofread everything, of course, but if that changes your opinion of me, so be it. I'm a human like everyone else out there. I like to use it just to brainstorm. So anyway, I have named it. Her name is Sloan. So Sloan and I were having a very in-depth conversation of how the heck to build this thing. So I asked it basically starting out with, how would you fuse a rib cage and a bird cage? And it gave me this, which is stunning. Again, I don't like how AI doesn't credit any of the sources it pulled it from. It just builds an image. I would love to know who or what this is created from, but here we are. So I'm actually going to jump over to this screen. I'm gone for a second, but I'll be back. See? So this was the first phase of it, and then we went through a few more iterations where I was like, okay, how is Kris going to be in there? It's not the soul I want Kris in there, and I probably won't be able to see them. So then I asked it to build a door, and it gave me these double doors, which is interesting. It basically shrunk the ribs a little bit down. That's like skipping over one iteration. I just had it, I think a couple iterations later, it gave me something like this. Because I do want it to somewhat mirror the birdcage in Kris's room, which, as you can see, has a door. I was like, okay, make it a single door. And also, as a graphic designer, my brain likes to see things in black and white first. I always say, work in silhouette before you add detail inside later. So building it in black and white made me really see what I'm actually working with. But I'm not really, like, I still couldn't really work with this, because the whole idea I have, going back over here, is these hands basically are all of Kris's emotions. And I really, really wanted to physically see like that. The red hands are pulling the bars apart, like literally pulling when Kris goes in their soul, there's a lot of anger and rage that I definitely did not capture with this. So that was another idea. And also, of course, figuring out how to balance all of this with, on top of this crazy composition, enough as it is, there's a lot going on. So I'm going to skip around because there was a few iterations that got a little creepy. So then I basically was like, can you put hands on it and pull it apart? And it gave me that. But I don't like the hands on it. I want them away from it. So anyway, fast forwarding a bit, I'm going to jump down here. And I basically had this idea of, okay, well, if I still want the cage to be visible, again, this is really busy. I may not even keep this. The icon might go away. I'm not sure yet. You already know, but I don't. So my thought was, how on earth could I somehow put this in here without overcomplicating everything? I still want the icon to shine through, and you can see the prophecy of the cage first. As well as, of course, this is also working with Susie and Rouse in here. They may not even stay. I am happy with how they look, but this really is a Kris piece. It might be just better to leave them out. I don't know yet. So anyway, then I thought, okay, what if the cage is made of glass and it's translucent and transparent enough for the light of the prophecy of the cage to shine through, but the glass is only visible against where light is shining, and it's warping it ever so slightly. So the warping of the cage, literally the prophecy icon, is in the background, but you can only see like the rim lighting of glass, and that's Kris. Kris is not one-to-one the cage. They are the cage, but we are the soul, so we're like, it's warped. And it's a little bit, so the refraction of the light behind it would be bending the glass so you could see the cage, the physical cage. So then I asked it, can you make a glass cage that the hands are pulling apart, and where they're pulling is rusted, like it's rusting over, like the rusted birdcage. And it gave me this, which is beautiful. Stunning. Kind of creepy, which is always what I want, that yucky, ew, creepy, gross kind of stuff. So that was an interesting thought, and I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere. So then I asked it, I came up with this vision like forever ago, and I saw it, and I don't know if it'll work, but I really, really want to try. This is why it's taken me so long, mostly, guys, because this composition just keeps evolving. If I have time to sit on it, I keep thinking, and thoughts just wreck me. So as happy as I am with this, I was like, how on earth do we work the piano in? That is the only reason I'm so hard bent on putting this cage in, because again, my initial vision, here we go, this, I never said it. My initial vision for this is the red hands are pulling the cage apart to reveal Kris inside, but these hands on the outside are essentially our mirror into Kris's thoughts. So if this is Kris physically, the red hands, the other side of them coming out, the yellow would be Kris's light world hand, and the blue would be Kris's dark world hand. And I wanted it so the yellow hand is physically pressing on the ribcage like piano keys, like pushing them out. So literally, the piano is being, the ribs are being depressed like a piano. And the other side is the negative space of that. The fingers are going through the rib cage, not landing on it, because that's when we take control, a concert for you. So it's missing the keys, and they're poking through the holes of the cage. So that's my crazy thought. It's gonna be a lot of color control and lighting to pull this off. I think I can do it, but yeah, execution is everything. So then I basically asked it, what would it look like with piano keys? And it gave me that. And I'm like, ooh, I don't hate that. I kind of like it. But again, it's way too busy. The focus is not the cage. The focus is Kris inside the cage. So then finally, last thought was, can you put Kris in the cage, like, you know, in my picture that I had, and it's silhouetted against the brighter version of the icon. And this is the final image we landed on. Wow! Oh my gosh! So anyway, I don't like to work with AI to create art, but purely for brainstorming purposes. Holy crap! It's stunning! It's beautiful! So anyway, that was a really fun exploration. I don't know if we'll keep the piano down here. I really like it, but it's going to take away from this, you know, the icon. So the point is, can we fuse together today? Basically, the outside part of the cage is going to be the piano keys that are being pressed, and Only that part will have piano keys that are visible. Everything else will be translucent and opaque, so the full iconography of the cage will shine through. And I had a couple extra thoughts last night because I did this last night and I had like a basically monkey brain, like I was ooh and and around the house when I saw this, so I had to go freak out and roll around on the floor for a minute. So after sleeping on those thoughts, but what were those thoughts? You'll have to jump over to the Patreon for that. If you want to see the full uncut hour and the end result, jump over to my Patreon at CrystalK25. Only $5 to see the rest. This is my favorite theory that I really don't want to happen, but... Link in the description. Part 2 drops next Saturday. I'm just a cruisy shipper, give me a break. See you then.